Hi, my name is Tanny, and this is my brother,
Rumi.
Today we're going to talk to you about fairy gardens. So the first question is, what is a fairy garden? So what would you say, Rumi?
I would say a fairy garden is a garden without restrictions that you can do whatever you want in, and it's also on a smaller scale.
I agree with your description, I think. Usually fairy gardens have smaller plants, things that don't grow as big, and usually it's not like vegetables, it's more decorative plants. So what's your favorite part about making fairy gardens?
My
What do you
favorite
like
part
best?
about making fairy gardens is building houses and things like that.
So how do you do it? How do you make a fairy garden? What do you do first?
The first thing you need is a container or a space that you can use to build a fairy garden. Once you know what kind of space you have, you can begin to look around for materials.
What kind of materials do you use? Where do you find your materials?
I look outside first. I like to use bark, sticks, moss, or rocks, and that type of thing. I make a mud mixture to build with. My favorite part of making a fairy garden is building structures.
Parks are also great places to find things like sticks or acorns or even walnuts. And if you look in your everything drawer at home, you might find something that's just perfect for a fairy garden.
Especially Lego people.
After you gather your materials, what do you do next?
I clear the space. If I'm using a container, I fill it with soil. Then I start thinking about where I want to put things. In this fairy garden, I put a statue of King Kong to be the center. And I built pathways and buildings around the King Kong statue. Then I added more plants and also put a border around the edge.
Isn't that King Kong statue a dog toy?
Yes, it's a dog toy. You can use anything you want. Dun dun dun.
When I build a fairy garden, I like to use a container so I can move it around and take it into the house. I like to put my plants in first and then add little features to make it seem like a gnome could live there. I put a pond made out of rocks in this fairy garden and pathways.
I put some ninjas and sword fighters in mine.
Once you've created your fairy garden and you're sure it's in a safe spot where it will come to no harm, you have to clean everything up. Because you're working with plants that live in soil, dirt spills are incredibly common. You also have to make sure that when you're watering a plant, the water doesn't end up in places where it's not supposed to be, like the floor or the walls. So, once you create your fairy garden, and while maintaining it, you have to be careful to clean up after yourself.
Also, don't put water on people's heads either.
Bad idea.
Don't forget your furry fairies.